Hello, this is Impact Ogbeide, and it's another good day to be alive. And I welcome you very specially to this episode of Reason to Live, Hope to Cope in a Troubled World. And I thank you for the time you spare to watch this video. And please do well to like, do well to comment. I believe you have been inspired as you watch our videos every now and then. So please, if it inspires you, make sure you help somebody else see the video by liking, by commenting, and by sharing the video so others will be opportune to hear the words of hope, the words of inspiration that we try to present here today. So I'd like to welcome you very specially to this interesting episode of Reason to Live, Hope to Cope in a Troubled World. All right, we began the series on the beauty of waiting season. The beauty of waiting season. I told you that actually this episodes of this particular subject is for people, I think like me, who are on the waiting queue, especially those who are waiting for something they know, but they don't know how long they have to wait. You know, it is far easy to wait when you know how long you have to wait than to be waiting indefinitely. You don't know when, but you just have to wait. And like I said, the sad reality regarding our walk with God is the fact that when God asks us to wait, many times He doesn't tell us how long we have to wait. He told Abraham to wait for a child. He didn't tell him how long. We are the ones who estimated and found that it waited for 25 good years after I got the promise to wait for the child. Now, you know, sometimes when we share the story of people who have waited, it appears very short until you are the one actually waiting. When we talk about Abraham and Sarah, 25 years, not 25 days, not 25 weeks, not 25 months, 25 good years. So we preach with the story, we raise the faith of others, we encourage others with the story. But when you have to wait for 2.5 years, you will appreciate when people waited for 25 good years for something, and they never knew actually when it would come. They were just waiting, hoping, and trusting God. Now, you see, on this episode today, I'd like you to take this home. The most important thing about waiting is not what you are waiting for, it's actually your attitude during waiting. The most important thing about the waiting season is actually not the thing you are waiting for, it is your attitude while you're waiting. You see, a wrong attitude during waiting season can extend your waiting time. Yes. Or you have the wrong attitude, it can extend the waiting time and it'll make you depressed, looking so sad all the time. But the right attitude during waiting will make the time of waiting a kind of inconsequential. You're no longer conscious of the duration and you are able to maximize the period of waiting. Most people get discouraged, depressed, and get tired during waiting because of wrong attitude. Now, you see, I like you to appreciate the fact that no phase of life is a hurdle to jump over or escape from. No single phase. Every phase of life is meant to be lived intentionally and purposefully. So whether you are waiting or you have received or got what you're waiting for, the waiting season is not a phase where you have to let it just quickly end and go. No, every phase of life, you must have this intentional mindset about every single phase of your life. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to live for while you are waiting. Yes. You see, I was studying the stories behind the Psalm, Psalm in the Bible. And I realized the most popular Psalm in Scripture, Psalm 23, actually was written when David was waiting. He was in the bush, in the forest. He was the last born. Now, ordinarily, it wasn't meant to be there. In the case of Joseph, you realize it is the elder brothers who go look after the father's sheep. But in David's case, he was one sent to the bush. He was kind of neglected, rejected, ostracized. Commentary says the mother was kind of not the legitimate wife. But while in the bush, left all alone, I'm sure that time he had gotten a prophecy that he was going to be king. Perhaps he had been anointed. So he was waiting. Now it was in that period. He knew how to maximize the wedding season. He wrote most of the psalm that we read today that inspires us, that encourages generations upon generations. Why? Because David had the right attitude while waiting. Don't forget when he confronted, when he was to confront Goliath and he met with Saul, he told Saul, and Saul looked at him and said, "Hey, young man," he said, "you are just a youth." He said, "This guy you're up against has been a champion from his youth." And guess what David used as his reference? It was what he did during his waiting season. While he was waiting, he said, "The lion came." He said, "I delivered a sheep out of the mouth of the lion, and I tore the lion apart." He said, "Another time a bear came." He said, "I went after the bear. I tore the mouth and delivered the sheep out of the mouth of the bear." Now, if it's my first today, why wait? We get so discouraged and we wouldn't even mind allowing the lion or bear just eat us so because you want to end it so because you're tired of waiting or waiting. That is the wrong attitude while you wait. You must have the right attitude. David had it and was able to make the most out of it. And he wrote several psalms. He wrote inspirational stories. The Apostle Paul wrote the book of Philippians while he was in prison. Now, of course, everybody, prison is not a destination. Prison is a phase. Everybody in prison is waiting for trial or waiting to be released. So Paul was waiting, yet he wrote to the Philippian church. And several times he really said to them, "Rejoice evermore." Again, I say rejoice. How does a man who is incarcerated tell people who are free, walking about to rejoice and be happy? He was there encouraging them. Why? I was able to be encouraging others in prison because he had the right attitude while he was waiting. So please, it's important you understand that your attitude is everything while you wait. So while you're waiting, when you focus on the goal, you will be hopeful. But when you focus on the road, you might be sorrowful. I'll say that again. When you focus on the goal, right attitude, you will be hopeful. And we all need hope to cope. Anybody you see is going through stuff and is still excited, having his cheerful countenance, it's because somehow they found hope in the midst of the precarious situation. So when you focus on the goal, you will be hopeful. But when you focus on the road, you look at the current situation, you are checking your time always, you will be sorrowful. So to have the right attitude while you wait, focus on the goal. Yeah, there's a lot you can develop, cultivate while you are waiting when you have the right attitude. So like I said at the beginning, the most important thing about waiting is not what you are waiting for. Actually, it is your attitude while you wait. So have the right attitude. You'll be amazed and realize that the purpose while you wait is even more important than what you are waiting for. Yeah, yeah. The meaning you give to why you are waiting is more important than what you are waiting for. I'll start again. The meaning you give to why you are waiting is more important to what you are waiting for. So have the right attitude towards what you're waiting for and while you wait, and you'll be shocked how it will define your life, how it will redefine your life, reshape your experience, and you'll just find joy in waiting and anticipating what you're waiting for. Wow. We've come to the end of this episode, and I'm sure you've learned a thing or two. We are still on this series on the beauty of waiting. I believe you have been inspired and you have been encouraged because every one of us, at one point or the other, we are waiting for something. So this message is for you. It is for me, especially when you are waiting for something. You don't know how long you have to wait. You should watch this video again and again so we can go through together and finally get to our destination with what we are waiting for right in our hands, with joy and with gratitude. Until I come your way again on this space for another episode of Reason to Live. Don't just exist, but live.